Hey everybody, Aaron I here. Quick little video about inventory. Baseball season's over, right? Playoffs are starting. At this very moment, my Dodgers are locked in a battle with Chris Wallace's St. Louis Cardinals. You guys probably didn't know that we owned those teams. But if you know anybody who knows and loves sports, when you're passionate about your teams, you say we, my, and it's just because they're yours. You love them. They're a part of your life. I've been a Dodger fan my whole life. And what happens at the end of every season, it's time to take inventory. You know the playoffs, you prepare for the playoffs. Even when the playoffs end, the off-season just isn't a time for relaxing. It's a time to take inventory and see how you did. You look at how you played against the teams in your division. You looked at how you played in teams in other divisions. What were our weaknesses? Did we need better pitching? Do we need to work on playing small ball, bunting, base stealing, different aspects of the game? You see the same in basketball. You may also know I'm a diehard Lakers fan. I grew up watching Magic Johnson and Showtime. And as you watch teams long enough, you see that the faces and the natures of teams change over time. Players come, they stay for a while, some stay for a long time, some move on after a year or two, because the needs of the team change. And part of the reason that the needs of a team change is due to the fact that they're taking inventory. And so at the end of the season, you look back at what you accomplished, what you didn't accomplish, and what you'd like to accomplish next year. And I think right now, for me personally, a lot of you know that I recently changed jobs about a month or so ago to work at InfoSwell Media. Part of that is me taking inventory in my life and seeing where I want to be, what I want to be doing, and what value it's adding to my life. And so that was part of that transition as well. Looking at side work, looking at This Is Aaron's Life, looking at a lot of the different things that I'm doing, I'm learning about taking inventory in different areas to see where I need to change, where I need to improve, and maybe what things I need to leave to the side. For me, I haven't been able to write much at all because my schedule is very busy. And so personally, I'm looks like I might be moving a lot towards mostly video most of the time, because it's easier for me to sit down and talk and share what I'm feeling. And it doesn't take so much time to write as it's easier to do the video. So that's an area that things are going to change probably for This Is Aaron's Life. But overall, as we look at design, we can't just say design anymore. We can't just say web design anymore, because it's not just about web design anymore. Everything has changed. The game is not what it was 2-3 years ago, let alone 5-6 years ago. When we have conferences called the Future of Web Apps, things in our space are changing. We're looking at, it's not just simple websites that are home, about us, services, contact anymore. It's content management systems, it's WordPress, it's Drupal, it's Joomla, it's all these other different platforms that people are looking to try to find a way to, one, manage their own content they're putting online, to be a little more self-sufficient, as well as facilitate larger updating. Especially working at InfoSwell, I understand this, seeing how magazines need these larger content management platforms to be able to facilitate articles and magazine issues and a lot of what they do and the communities they're trying to build online. So it's time to take inventory. I have to constantly be taking inventory to see, am I where I need to be? Am I in line with what's happening? And if you look at the way things are changing, we're going to have to learn a little more. I've always said it's not always good to be a jack of all trades and a master of none, but being informed of different areas, we need to learn about search optimization. Even if you believe it's hocus pocus, you need to understand it, because your clients are going to ask about it. And you got to give them some kind of answer that's not well, I'm a designer and I think SEO is hocus pocus and ridiculous and you don't really need it. If you just have good content, you'll be fine. Which may be true to some extent, but that doesn't help your client. What helps them is fully understanding, or not having a full understanding, but having enough of an understanding to explain where value can be found and the need to have good content. And so that, content management systems, if you're going to work on a content management system, you better start wrapping your head around PHP. You better start understanding just the ins and outs of plugins, modules, views, all these different things that are in, WordPress, Drupal, Joomla. And even if you know enough that you're able to say, hey, you know what, this isn't my area of expertise, but I can partner with this person because I know enough to know that they're really good at what they're doing. And so see, it's going to be important for us as designers and developers and social media strategists and a lot of the new areas of the creative online world that are emerging The lines are blurring and things are getting gray. Web applications aren't websites, but you design a lot of the similar things for them in the same way you would for a website. It has like its foundation there. There's user experience is so much more important in every aspect of web design, as opposed to 5 years ago you tried to make a good user experience, but it was such a simpler site that you had to make. It's not that way anymore. Things are changing, things are emerging and growing. So many things are being brought to the online space, not to mention mobile. Mobile is changing everything. It has changed everything. I mean, the iPhone has revolutionized how we do things. What the apps and the new things we can create and be a part of. So taking inventory on a consistent basis, even as frequent as every 3 months, taking inventory. Where are you? What are you doing? Is it worth your time to be doing it anymore? Is this something that's like, you know what? For the time I spend doing it and the value I get back in my efforts and the money I make, I need to move away from doing this because it's not valuing my time. It's not valuing my design and my community that I'm a part of. It's time to move forward and work and be a part of more things that add value, not only to me as a person, but to what I work on as a designer. So take inventory. This is a good week to take inventory. I don't know why, but it sounds good to me. I'm taking inventory this week. I would challenge you to start finding ways to take inventory and see how you can improve who you are. A great example of this was Kyle Steed's recent new launch of his site. He's been working on that for quite some time. Actually went through a few different iterations before just saying, this is what I want to do, and doing it. He actually revised, no, that's not working for me, I'm not doing that. He ended up creating his own custom font and doing some different things that he may not have done had he not took time to take inventory, reevaluate the process, and look at what it meant. And if you even seen his blog, he even showed an element of personal touch, what it meant to him, how his creativity ties into his personal life, areas of faith, so many different things. And so it's really important for us to understand the need for inventory in our personal lives as well as our creative lives, because they are, as much as we'd like to keep them separate, sometimes keep work away from personal, they are so tied together. Inspiration, burnout, so many elements of these things cross over each other. So that's what I got to say about inspiration. I'd love to hear your thoughts about, inventory. I'd love to hear your thoughts about what you do to take inventory, ways it's benefited you, and how you've learned and grown as a result of refining your process and finding out what works for you and how to make yourself better. We'll see you guys next time.